So what is the cause for being concerned of what other people think about us? You see, it is the core wound and it is social feedback. It is twofold, and I'm going to explain these two things in this video. Number one, our core wound. What is our core wound? And maybe you have heard me speak about this before. You know, when a child grows up, and for you to understand why you actually care about other people, we really need to go deep into like a child's psychology for a second, so it will make sense in a few moments. So when a child grows up, you know, it passes the stage from being unconditionally loved and everything is provided for, life basically is great, all the needs are fulfilled by the parents, and then it passes through the stage as it grows older where the parents decide to teach the child the rules of society, and now it's not all about you, it's also about us from the point of view of the parents. So the child needs to adapt, and this is a very healthy thing, but it causes a deep, deep wound, the most fundamental core wound that we have, and a deep trauma in the child's psyche. So that means before I was unconditionally loved and I could do whatever I wanted, I was okay the way I am. And now, simultaneously with the development of my mental abilities to reason and think and make up stories and give meaning to things, simultaneously to that, now the shift occurs and the parents teach me as a child how to behave in society. Now it's not I am unconditionally loved and I can do whatever I want and I'm still loved, but now I need to behave a certain way. And why this is so important and how that links to how to be, why we care about the opinion of other people, this is that our core wound makes us believe that we should be different than we are in order to regain the original state of unconditional love. Because everything we do for emotional reasons, and so do we care about other people's opinions for emotional reasons. So we want to be different than we are, therefore try to alter the opinion that somebody else has of us by us acting differently than we actually feel like. You see, there's a discord between what I actually feel like doing or saying or expressing myself, but then there's the fear of like stepping on my father's toes if I choose this career's path, or if my girlfriend or boyfriend really will like that if I do that or if I share that openly, or that I will be criticized in public if I write the novel that I always wanted and maybe people don't like that, and that means that I'm actually not born to be an author, which I always made up in my head. You see, whatever that is that we're concerned about other people's opinions, excuse me please, it comes down to this core wound. You see, we want to be different than we are. We believe we need to be different than we are. We believe we need to alter ourselves in order to fit into what other people expect of us, and that will give us the emotional payoff, the emotional reward, as we shall see in the next video, of validation, attention, recognition and love, all the things that we emotionally crave. So number one, wanting to be different than we are, our core wound. This is why we're so concerned about other people's opinions. You see, we used to be concerned only about our parents' opinions, you know, how I must be in order to please them. But then after a while, we felt like the same emotional payoffs that we get from our parents, we also get from other people, and in this way also try to alter ourselves based on this original core wound, where we learned that when we alter ourselves, and we must and we have to, only then we get the emotional payoff that we crave. And I hope that's clear now to the first point. Now, number two is the social feedback. Why do we care about other people's opinions? Because when humans evolved and developed and grew into larger and larger, like clans, groups, we needed to sort out our social positions. So it's a very healthy thing to actually be concerned about what other people think of you and what image they have of you, so you can make up an image for yourself, how you fit into society, plus you're concerned to not step on somebody else's toes, to not make somebody else feel bad. And this is actually what's behind thinking about what other people think of us, caring about their opinions. to prevent us from hurting somebody else, and because that hurts the other person, it will hurt us. This social feedback is ingrained in our psyche. We always think of what would other people say about that, because it's healthy. When we need to live together and we depend upon each other, then we need to be concerned about other people's feelings. But here's the key distinction. It is very healthy and adaptive to a certain extent. When we do have the balance between, as we shall see later, following our hearts, our own way through life, and why are we doing that? This is kind of primary focus in life, following our heart. And then on the side, while we follow our heart, we make sure that we do not trip on somebody else's toes unnecessarily. If we do, and if that feels right to us to put ourselves out there and also criticize somebody else, then we go ahead and do that. But we go in depth in that on how to actually do that. Here now the point is to understand the cause of why do we actually care about what other people think. And I believe I've made that clear that number one, it's the core wound. We wanted to alter our parents' opinions about us, and so we kind of take this blueprint that we believe we need to be different than we are and also apply it to other people. So we try to change, we try to manipulate so that the opinion that others have of us changes. And number two is the social feedback, that it's ingrained in our psyche to actually be concerned about somebody else's opinion. And with that being said, let's jump right into the next video.